What's happening?
What's
You
happening?
gotta get the bunny going. Name's Squirrel.
Squirrel.
So we were talking about
Start.
good day,
Start
Mongoose Max community.
Good day.
The 3 followers that are watching, myself, Mongoose Mugs himself, and maybe Jim. So
Thank you.
here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Let's see it. What's the deal? The Honolulu Zoo. Hey, how's it going?
You're awesome. I love your energy, bro.
Oh, thanks.
I love your energy.
Thanks, sir.
You're the best. Yeah.
Be safe, man. The bunny himself.
The bunny himself. Did you get that? We're recording, right?
I think so. It turned off.
So the bunny man.
He gave a bunny thing.
Get.
Like and subscribe to Bunny Man. He's got the bunny bike. Okay, reference.
Hold on.
What?
Let me get that extension. Now you get the.
I'm fine.
No, it's for us. You must be.
The world is in.
Tourist state right now. We just had quakes in Taiwan.
Oh,
We just had volcano eruption in Italy. And we are having a full solar eclipse in the next 48 hours. The whole world,
complete darkness.
complete darkness. This is Mother Nature speaking.
And New York City got an earthquake. New York City. Come on, New York.
And Taiwan got an earthquake too. Taiwan is
Taiwan's
notorious.
got Leaning Tower of Pisa's everywhere. They're smashed and damaged. They're completely lost.
Taiwan is notorious for earthquake, actually. But anyways, New York, they got a little melodramatic. Let me tell you, somebody spilled their salt and pepper, basically. But anyways, 4.8.
Dogs and cats sleeping together.
It was a little
Apocalypse now.
melodramatic.
Well, it shook. You don't get quakes in New York. That's unusual. And tell me about Italy.
So Italy had a earthquake, and there were a volcano, small earthquake that caused a volcano.
Volcano blew up. Whoa! It's like frickin' Vesuvius. Whoa! Herculaneum. Pompeii. And we're in Hawaii.
And we're in Hawaii. Now, let me tell you the state about the social economics. World social economics. World social economics.
We're talking about the IRA and look at this guy.
Get nicked.
Get nicked?
Get nicked. Anyways, Janet Yellen is in Beijing right now. She's the Secretary of Treasury of the Americas.
Schemes.
America is $35 trillion in debt. Our debt is our interest on our debt
Spend all your money now before it's worthless.
is
YOLO.
more than the debt payment itself. So that's a uncharted territory. What else? There's 2 wars going on that we know of. Potentially 3. One is in Europe between Russia and Ukraine. The Ukraine was invaded by Russia back. The Russia was invaded by Ukraine 2 years ago. 2 years and 2 months ago, February 2022. The war is in a state of stalemate. Russia has increased. I'll spare the details, but Russia will continue to fortify the forces to fight this war because they're evil. They want to take back the Ukraine. Now, Gaza Strip is for Palestinian people. They elected Hamas because that was their best option at that time to fight the oppression, while Hamas is officially been recategorized as a terrorist, a borderline terrorist organization.
They're backed by Iran.
Hamas. Houthis are terrorists, also backed by Iran.
Iran gives Hamas money and the humanitarian aid. They steal it, make tunnels using child labor.
Yes, they steal it by force. And there's approximately 2.5 million people in Gaza Strip, for which a good million just don't want to be didn't vote for, Palestine's new governing body, which is Hamas. A lot of people did not vote for him, but now they're all paying the price because majority of them did vote for Hamas. This is what Hamas does. This is why they're evil and they're terrorists. They know, based on the Western media, of course,
which is true. Mainland mainstream media is true.
Hamas is known. It's a fact. Their video footage is online. You see for yourself. I'm not making this up. Hamas, the government, the group, the militia government that people of Palestine elected. At that time, that was their best choice. At that time, what was that time? Well, over 15 years ago. That's questionable. It was a long time ago. They elected them. Today, they have turned on their tactics, basically turned on their people, and they hide inside and under the hospitals, thinking that's the safest place to hide.
Human shields, babies in hospital beds.
Yep.
Elderly.
Now that's evil right there. So that's why they're terrorists. They're just causing terror.
And their policy is basically to eliminate Israel off the map and all Israelis. They don't like Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want it to be one big Muslim caliphate, like Ayatollah Khomeini.
So this is why it's a biblical war.
Oh yeah.
It's in the Bible.
Dome of the Rock. We shall take back Jerusalem. Crusades.
It's in the Bible.
That's what they did in the 1000s, 1000 year. And it was like a battle over Jerusalem. Muslims pretty much won in the end after many crusades. So they hark back to that. It's like it's like they always say the crusades. It's like never over.
It's never over. So it's gonna be maybe in my lifetime where it'll be over.
What? The Knights Templars. They're all ghosts.
Did you know that we're all assigned a spiritual guide when we were born?
Yeah. Yeah. It's called Guardian Angel. That's what the Catholics
we all
say.
have
Spiritual guide, guardian, spiritual.
And I believe that people of Hamas have those, people of Palestine have those, people of Israel have those. But they cannot mess, they can guide people, but they cannot mess with the free will. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but the Palestinians are living in that area, and it's infiltrated with Hamas.
Correct.
And they're
Facts.
pretty much like pro-Hamas, a lot of it.
Facts. And then they're paying the price.
The Hamas jumped the border and start slaughtering and pillaging and robbing people.
October 11
in another country. What would that?
2023. Hamas jumped over, strategically planned this for months and months, knowing it was their, knowing that Israel had a skeleton crew. It was their holiday. They were all doing the Ramadan. And October 11th, 2023, Hamas broke through the border wall.
Hang gliders.
Using hang gliders and ground equipment. And they struck at a concert that was going on, knowing that there was a skeleton crew for Israel, which is a failure on their part, on the defenses on their part. Therefore, there's bigger forces in play.
Therefore,
that you and
there goes some.
It was a military intelligence failure, basically, which is, to me, it's questionable. Right? Like, why? Like, come on now. Anyways, let's not get hung up on the failure part, on the Israel part. What the after effect was over 1,250 or so deaths, people were killed. This is just insane. Over 1,000 people. It's the biggest terrorist attack that Israel had in its history, and 1,250 deaths and over 200 hostages for negotiations were taken from this. There was a concert going on about a mile over the border. That was their striking point, to take the hostages. Right away.
Take hostages that have more human shields to hide behind.
Correct, yes, because they're terrorists. They become terrorists in their approach, in their tactics. This is what they are, evil people. So they took the hostages, 1,250 people killed. So how does Israel respond to this? What would you do? That's the question, right? If you were Israel, how would you respond?
Yeah, think of this. Okay, instead of 9/11, say that never happened, and they had hang gliders come over and take hostages and kill a bunch of innocent people and, rape your grandmother and babies. What would U.S. people do? They would be freaking. I mean, they would be like nuke.
But we're a democracy. We know that.
Don't use nukes
anymore. What we do is give support to Israel, military support to quote unquote nuke, or metaphor nuke, or invade and demolish the city.
Eliminate with extreme prejudice.
Extreme prejudice. The hate is double down in the Jews to retaliate, and they have invaded Gaza Strip, northern Gaza Strip. Before they invaded, supposedly they gave a fair warning to the citizens to move out. In fact, they gave them 2 weeks to move out. At first, it was 24 hours, and then more and more logistical concerns came about, humanitarian concerns came about. So Israel, Prime Minister, and his team had to address those things. So it took 2 weeks actually to invade after Hamas attacked.
Yeah, but where are they going to go anyways? It's like...
Yeah,
like
we'll get to that
migration
part. We'll get to the bigger social economic.
It's like the exodus of old ladies in their buggies with babies in it. But Ukraine, they got to give. I mean, it's like.
So now I'm talking about Ukraine. Change of subject.
I mean, you talk about wars, and you mentioned it.
I'm Ukrainian, by the way. I'm Ukrainian. Ukraine is close to my heart. I have no prejudice for anyone. I just want the fighting to stop. The Russians and Ukraine to stop altogether, because they're young men, 18, 19, 20 years old, who have been voluntold through deception, Russia especially,
voluntold
to fight for their country, kill the enemy, right? Brainwashed.
No.
Lots of young Russian soldiers are brainwashed. Once they get in, they're reluctant to join, but they do it anyways for their country. And once they're inside, they are afraid to fight. They're afraid. They're within 24 hours, 24 to 40 hours they're on the battlefield. No training, nothing. They just throw them on the road, just get slaughtered. That is evil.
That's evil, but you know, it's like their country is going to be destroyed because that guy is just bombing civilians.
What guy?
Putin in his army of darkness.
Yeah, Putin. So Putin has been the president of the Russian Federation since Gorbachev nominated him. He was elected in year 2000. For the first 8 years he was a president, and then he let his prime minister Medvedev, who he's also pulling the strings for, be the president. So that way Putin can pull the strings as a prime minister for 4 years. So from 2000 to 2008, Putin was the president. He built out the economy of Russia. He done a great job. He built the biggest skyline in Europe now, Moscow, and it's beautiful. And the people visually see what Putin has done for the country. At least Moscow elites, those elite, wealthy, oligarch people.
Moscow elites,
Muscovites. So from the first to 2010s, Putin done an outstanding job for the people. Then he started scheming. He elected Medvedev as a president. He was a vice president, prime minister. So he sat back of the government. He's the head of the government, prime minister. So by law, he can get re-elected again in Russian Federation. So he did. He became the president from 2000. He's a current president now, sitting president.
He got elected again. There was no one running against them. They're all missing.
So yeah, let me just give you the time constraint here, or time perspective. Putin has been the president since basically year 2000, and it's 2024 right now. Tell me if that is not dictatorship, modern day dictatorship. He has changed the law. He has changed the law. He has changed the law in his country where he has unlimited terms. He's a dictator. Anybody watching this, tell me if I'm wrong. Is that a dictator or not? Tell me, because there's gonna be some people like, oh, give me backlash. That's fine.
No.
Let's make this controversial.
He's been a dictator for decades.
And he invaded Ukraine, February 2022, full-on invasion. He had 40,000 troops marching to Kiev, capital of Ukraine. Within a week, he was already marching. He destroyed all the prominent airports, all the military equipment, just to seize the communication and seize the airports, in and out access. That was his strategy. And then a land invasion, which was a big failure on his behalf.
They fought back.
That's right. Big logistical failure. He did not think that the Ukrainian people would fight back. Of course they'll fight back. They want to protect their livelihoods. Of course they'll fight back. They will put their
That's their country.
It's their country. They have, since 1991, you're 33 years old. You're a 33-year-old independent country. That's old. You could retire already. They have children who are already 10 years old, never seen USSR. They're born into democracy. And these children are watching the war. What do you think is going to happen? That's right. They are going to retaliate, and they're going to fight for the country because that's all they know. So Putin is evil. We all know this. I keep repeating myself. And his tactics are far too Soviet style. He lacks equipment, military equipment, which is all Soviet equipment anyways. That there was a road convoy for 40 miles. I can't even, that's 2 marathons almost. 40 miles convoy that's stuck. Big logistical nightmare.
Thermal gas.
Because you know what? Because all those soldiers and those 4-star generals, they're all Muppets. Can't think on their own. Just like the president. That's what happens with a dictator. You dictate one by one. You have to be there to dictate what's gonna happen. And if you're not, guess what happens? Everyone is gonna fail because they do not have your direction. So Putin was no different. His little army that invaded Ukraine retreated within 2 months. 2 months they retreated because Ukrainians fought. But America, back to America. America! Why is America involved? Well, let's talk social economic
If
structure.
they took over Ukraine, the wannabe again Soviet Union, because they want to be Soviet again. That's what Putin wants. So it's the old glory days. It'll go. If they take over Ukraine, they'll be all the way up to the Poland, all the way up to NATO countries. Basically, next stop, all Europe. It's an Adolf move.
That's right. That was the inception plan from Putin. In fact, someone wrote a book about him that he would start with Ukraine and successfully, keyword successfully, move to West, Poland, Austria, and take back the USSR, United Soviet Socialist Republic lands. And that would start with Ukraine. Thank God.
Notice he hates NATO. Oh, Ukraine, you cannot join NATO.
That's right. And thank God it was a big strategic failure on Russia. So today, it's been 2 years and 2 months of stalemate now, and the United States is supporting Ukraine. They're giving them. We have given Ukraine $160 billion now in support, in aid over the 2 years.
But they stalled on the next one. Congress is saying they don't.
Oh, that it just got passed.
It just got passed?
Yes.
Okay. How do you say glory for Ukraine in Ukrainian?
Slava Ukraine.
Slava Ukrainia. That's the slogan.
Uh-huh. Anyways, Ukraine will continue to fight, just as Israel will continue to fight. Now, Israel, different dynamic. Israel is biblical. It really is.
Oh,
It goes back.
yay.
But what is the common element here with these two wars? The United States.
The bad guys are evil.
The bad guys are evil. And the United States funding both wars.
And earthquakes, volcanoes, and it's windy over here.
And eclipse.
And eclipse, darkness of the skies. So all we have is Bunny Man to save us. Slava Ukraine.
Slava Ukraine.